So yeah, basically the whole trip started out. I left Elk, Washington here at about 2:40 in the morning. Made the hour and 10 minute drive down to Tim's house. From there, we made the 10-hour drive over to Sekiu, Washington. A lot of drive time, took a lot of time to get there. Once we did get there, we stopped at Van Rippers, was where we were. That's where we stayed for the entire weekend. So as soon as we got there, we ended up launching the boat, which went really smooth and everything like that. We didn't know, we were trying to work the tides. If the tide is low, you can't launch the boat at a certain time. So we tried to catch the tide right at the right time. So we ended up launching the boat about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that worked really well. Went out, got our boat set up, went to the hotel at Van Rippers, checked out what kind of fishing tackle and equipment they had. Kind of got set up for the next morning. We were gonna fish that afternoon, but Jan was a little bit late.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to Clum Dog Outdoors. We finally made it out here to Sekiu, Washington. It was a really long drive, a lot longer than we were expecting, but made it out here, got the boat loaded up, got the bait in the boat. We're waiting for one more guy, Jan. He's gonna be fishing with us this weekend also. So once he shows up, we're gonna get out in the boat, we're gonna start catching some fish. We're gonna be targeting in on some big halibut, ling cod, multi-species rockfish, and a bunch of different things. So yeah, you guys stick around, it's gonna be a ton of fun. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see, and we will see you guys out on the water. Woo!
So once Jan showed up, we were talking about kind of going out that first evening, but decided just to kind of get everything prepped up and ready to go. The next day came around, we woke up, it was probably like 4:30 in the morning. We got up, went out there, got our coffee, got the bait loaded up and everything ready to go.
Well, good morning. Super early, just getting everything ready to rock and roll. Bringing all my stuff, loading it up in the boat right now. Get out here for the first morning and go rip it up. It's a beautiful morning. We've been bouncing around all over the place, haven't been able to locate any fish. Dropped down the ice rod, jigged it a couple times, and game on.
Oh, flounder.
On the ice rod.
First day was really nice. We went out there first thing and started halibut fishing. Tim Hansen really wanted to target in on that 400 or 500 feet of water. I was a little hesitant about it because we're running 4 pounds of weight, 4 pounds of weight and 400 feet of water. So it feels like you're bringing up a fish just every time you're reeling your line in. But we got out there, didn't have any hits on the halibut whatsoever that first day. Ended up moving inshore over by the mouth of the Sekiu River, and then started doing the rock fishing. And right off the bat, we started catching rockfish. We were catching the quillbacks, the some orange colored fish. We got a couple of the green lings and stuff like that. Really trying to target in on those ling cod so that we could fill our limit of those each day. But first day we didn't get any lings. It was just kind of checking everything out, getting the lay of the land and figuring out where we wanted to fish and where we wanted to go for the rest of the weekend so that we could target in on each individual species throughout the weekend to fill our limit and get some fish to come home.
Well, good morning everybody. It's the second day out here fishing. Yesterday went pretty well. We spent a lot of time trying to target in on the halibut. Didn't really have a whole lot of luck with those, but we were able to get on quite a few different rockfish using the ice rod and knocking out some of the species on the ice rod, which is a ton of fun. Today we're going to switch it up a little bit. Here in Unit 4, Area 4, where we were fishing yesterday, the halibut is closed for today, so only in Unit 5, where we're camped at now, is available, but it's barbless hooks. We're gonna have to fish in 500 feet of water, so we're deciding to go a different route and just strictly go do some rock fishing today. We're gonna try to key in on some of those bigger ling cod and the different rockfish species. Still gonna be busting out the ice rod and see what we can get on that, because it's just a ton of fun. So you guys stick around. Day 2 of fishing, we'll hopefully show you guys some big fish and a couple multi-species different things, so it should be a good time. Stick around.
And so day 2 of fishing, first thing in the morning it was raining. It was supposed to be raining for the next 3 days. So we went back out, started the rockfish again.
So if we're running this ice rod setup, we're just running a drop shot rig. Got a 2-ounce weight right here, little inline hook tipped with a little piece of plastic and a little piece of fish. Drop it down to the bottom and just slowly pick it up and drop it back down. These rockfish are loving it. It's a ton of fun. Finally got a ling on the ice rod. Sweet. Yeah. Big blue mouth on him. Sweet, yeah.
We ended up catching, our limit's a ling cod, 2 ling cod each, and the first and the second day I really wanted to target in on these rockfish on my ice rod. So I busted out the ice rod and was really putting that thing to work. I got a few different looks for some other boats, thinking that I was crazy running this little ice pole out there, but we ended up running some drop shot rigs, had a 2-ounce weight on the bottom, drop shot hook up top, drop that straight down, and I'm ripping the ice rod trying to jig it. Everybody, the other guys are just bouncing their rod and it's bringing it up that far in my ice rod, and I'm having to like rip it super hard just to get some movement on it. But yeah, I caught a lot of different species of fish on that ice rod. The very first fish I caught was one of those sand dabs. Sitting there ripping it and fighting him, getting him all the way up, and I actually foul hooked him right in the back on that sand dab, that first sand dab, but felt like a monster. And once I caught that first fish on the ice rod, I was hooked for the rest of the time. I wanted to catch nothing but everything on the ice rod. I wanted to catch a halibut on it, I wanted to catch a ling cod on it, wanted to catch as many species as I could on that. Oh yeah, and then I did, yeah. So after running the ice rod, we caught the sand dab, we caught a couple of those copper rock bass or whatever they're called, and ended up catching that starfish, which was really weird. It's sitting there just bouncing the rocks, vertical jigging and everything, and I felt something heavy, so I set the hook and I reeled all the way up, and sure as shit, that starfish was attached right to the, I didn't hook him, but he was attached right to the drop shot hook.
You know, instead of turn it.
Yeah. Starfish on the ice rod.
There were some guys at the marina that were diving. Car. Game on. Friday, we ended up spending most of our time just rock fishing, and then went right out from the marina and put up our barbless hooks and everything and tried catching some halibut, and that was where we ended up catching those couple of the sharks.
Here's Brian, reeling from 420 feet.
It's probably one of them.
Thank God he couldn't click her off.
Yeah, it's probably one of them damn sharks.
Heading to commercial break. We'll be back.
Oh, jeez.
What kind of shark? That one's bigger than
Well, good morning, everybody. It is our last day here. Today we're going to be making the big run out to go catch some halibut. It's going to be like a 18-20 mile run all the way out to the fishing grounds, so it's going to be a little bit of a ride out there. It's supposed to have some pretty big seas and heavy winds, so we'll see how it goes today. Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. So we'll see what the weather's like. But yeah, hopefully we can get out some halibut today. Yesterday was a ton of fun. Got a bunch of rockfish, got a couple sharks, and had a blast doing that. So hopefully today we can get on our target species, which is the halibut. So you guys stick around. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, like, follow, and whatever. We'll see you guys on the water.
Seas were pretty rough, and there was, I don't know, maybe 10-15 mile an hour winds on top of it, so it created all these little pinnacles up on top of these big ass swells, and so it was, I mean, we were just sitting there rocking and rolling all day long. I ended up getting a little seasick on that day. I didn't throw up or nothing, but I just felt off. So we went out past Nia Bay, way out past the point, and hit the main ocean, and got the boat out there. That was kind of the whole goal, was to see what it was like. And so we get all the way out there, and he stops the boat, and we're just like, they just was not fishable. And all the other boats that were out before us, they were hightailing it back in. And so we're like, all right, let's, we're not going to spend too much time out there. So we turned around, came back in, and we ended up fishing this place called the Garbage Dump.
Hey! Yeah, we've been bouncing around all day trying to locate different species of fish, mainly the ling cod. Haven't really found any big lings, but we got this big cabezon. Sweet, sweet looking fish. Man, this thing is awesome. Look at his mouth, is all super blue. That is rad. Woo! Sweet.
Yeah, no, it was a fun trip. We had a good time. We might go ahead and go do it again one of these days, but I think we're gonna kind of switch gears, maybe go do some Alaska trips or something else. And there's a lot bigger fish, bigger halibut, bigger species the farther north you go, but yeah, and a lot more of them. But no, it was a fun trip. It was an experience. It's something that I think we'll do again. And hopefully next time we can really target in and find those big halibut, find the big lings. We were really hoping to try and locate those black bass, but couldn't really locate too many of those for some reason. It was all those copper rockfish and quillbacks and all the other stuff.